Hello there, Trey. How you doing? So it's awesome to be able to mentor you after I think you've been with us more than 10 years on the site. That's pretty crazy when you think about it. But this is really cool. And I really like the fact that you're into just building cool pentatonic, bluesy shops, style of Ace Frehley and Zakk Wylde. That's a really cool style, and it's one that I've been, especially Zakk Wylde's, one that I've been working on a bit, on and off. But now it's been a while, so this gives me an opportunity to kind of try to get my own Zakk Wylde's shops together. So I'm really looking forward to do that together with you. So I think this first video is going to be sort of an introduction to what we're going to cover and kind of frame the whole concept of me mentoring you. And I'd like to begin with saying that you provided some really cool videos there, which allowed me to get a good impression of your playing and writing, because I think there were a lot of cool riffs there. So I really encourage you to keep that side up. I think that's going to also provide an awesome foundation for whatever we do. I mean, if you have your own riffs and your own songs that you can work with, that's really, that's a strong card you have there. But we're really going to start this off by focusing on, soloing shops, because I think that's what you're looking for. And I'm going to frame it towards, Zakk Wylde's school of thinking, which means a couple of things. We're going to be very aggressive in our attack in anything we do. Zakk is really all about just pounding in energy into whatever you're trying to do. So that means crazy vibrato. It's really kind of vibrato where you go like 1.5 step most of the time, which means we're bending from the 9th fret to the 12th fret on the G string. And if possible, we're going to add that, artificial harmonic. But even without it, it's really crazy. Now, sometimes, of course, he bends other intervals, namely like a whole step. Depending on where you are in the scale, it's going to work more or less good with a 1 step or 1.5 step. I'm just mentioning this briefly. This is sort of an introduction. We can dive into all of this stuff. But really, if you want to get into Zakk Wylde, see if you can bend, like count to 3 frets. 1, 2, 3. And again, if you can squeeze in that artificial harmonic, that's cool. We can dive into that as well. But when you put those together, you get some crazy stuff. Now, another trademark of Zakk Wylde, which when he came around was really cool because it hadn't really been done that way in a kind of rock setting. It's his fast pentatonic runs. I mean, it's been done a lot, but the way he did it with really aggressive and fast picking chops, I think the only one who really came close to that before was Eric Johnson, and that's like a whole different setting, obviously. Now, Zakk Wylde's approach is more aggressive and less controlled, but it's really compensated by the fact that, as I said, there's so much energy. Doesn't really matter if he misses a note here and there. It's just the energy is all over the place anyway. So it's kind of, oh, let me see here. Like, something like that, maybe? Yeah, I would say that's somewhere in the ballpark. This is something we should definitely be looking at if you're interested. Zakk relies a lot on what is called like upward pick slanting, whereas I prefer downward pick slanting. I'd say the difference isn't huge. I mean, you can pick whichever one you're comfortable with, and we can discuss exactly what that is. But I think Zack's way of doing it maybe gives him a bit more power, but less control. My way of doing it, or the Eric Johnson school of thinking, downward pick slanting is more effortless, allows for more flexibility and control. Maybe a little less attack, but I'd say it's, whichever. So anyhow, I like to do this. I mean, if you put your pick parallel to the string and then tilt downwards, that would be like the downward pick slanting. And if you play an even amount of notes per string, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Oops. I mean, it's definitely aggressive and cool, so I'd say either way works. But that's something we can speak about as well. And when we put all this together and start creating licks and cool stuff, we can definitely start moving around in different positions. And I think that's something you told me. Basically, you've been struggling kind of moving around pentatonic licks and kind of seeing the different positions. And I think there's a natural way of doing that by basically just throwing in one note at a time. So if you have like a lick like where you just slide into the next position, but you don't try to memorize the whole position. You just find a few notes and then go back and forth. Now, if you keep doing that, the next position is going to become like a natural extension of the first one. And it's, I think, going to be much less work memorizing stuff as opposed to if you were just trying to, see the whole thing. So that's the kind of thing we can speak about as well. So just a quick introduction about everything here. But I still want to encourage you maybe maybe you could record something as a response to this video. Take your time. But what I would like to see is there anything of what I mentioned here that you are somewhat comfortable with? Or would you like to just give an attempt? Because I see you already have some soloing shots, so I know you've been playing for a very long time, so I can imagine some of this stuff you probably attempted it or played it. So if you want to try to record anything of this, maybe you've done these aggressive bends or aggressive vibrato, you could give it a shot. Maybe give it a shot with some artificial harmonics. And have you done any fast pentatonic picking, Zakk Wylde-ish? Any of this, then feel free to maybe just record something. And the thinking behind this is that we're going to start with low-hanging fruit. So basically, if I can see that, hey, you've already got a lot going on in this like Zakk Wylde-ish soloing style, that's going to allow me to kind of structure things so we can choose material that is going to be easy for you to see quick results. And that's obviously much better if we can do that, because it's going to give you like a head start, and it usually gives you a really motivational boost if you can take stuff you already know and kind of combine and tweak it a little bit and make it turn it into something totally new. So that's what I'd like to do, and as I said, it's really cool to just be doing this with you. So I'm really looking forward to following your progress and seeing if you can record something for this first task. That would be cool. Awesome, Trey. Have a good one. See you soon. Cheers.